Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the week again. Time for yet another session of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I believe we are now entering into the territory of where the first season of the anime left off. So let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to another reading of Jujutsu Kaisen, where we will be going through Volume 7 of the series. I want to make sure that the lighting is good. It is kind of blinded me when I looked at it, my bad. But this is where things are going to start getting into where the anime left off, because we had the Goodwill Event in the anime, and then we had the moment where Fushiguro, Nobara, and Yuji were going to investigate people dying under mysterious circumstances, but that's where the anime stopped. So with this volume, I am now going to be going into territory that's past the anime and going in with the rest of the story. I am excited. Let's go ahead and get started. So we got a couple of people in here. Jujutsu Kaisen, Volume 7, The Origin of Obedience. And we have chapters 53 through 61. So it's going to be... yeah, and it has some of these chapters called The Origin of Obedience Part 1 through 7. So we're going to be kind of busy today. All right, chapter 53, Completion. And we're in this underwater cave, and then we see that dude that had like the hand katana. We see him I guess entering through a crack in a wall, like some rock formations come through the wall, and he enters through there. And he goes, I ended up not doing anything. I wonder if I'll get scolded. Compared to me, though. You're working too hard. And this guy looks at Hanami, who apparently had their entire left side just destroyed by Satoru Gojo's Hollow Purple, because a whole chunk of their left side is just gone. So even though it looked like Hanami got away, Hanami did in fact suffer a lot of damage from this. So I guess they didn't exactly come out of this unscathed. Mouth bloodied, sections of their bodies bloodied as well. Compared to me, though, you're working too hard. And then Hanami falls over. Yikes! And Hanami's not moving. And then the guy looks at Hanami going, poor thing, I can put you at ease. And before he can take his hand katana down, Mahito is right behind him as he draws his sword going, good work. But be careful now, human. Know your place or I'll kill you. Aw, come on, I'm just being compassionate. I guess cursors can't understand the subtleties of human nature. And then he just brushes it off, as apparently I guess he doesn't get the chance to kill Hanami like he, I guess, was hoping for. Hopefully I'm centered correctly. Yeah, I'm centered. And then Mahito walks away as the guy says, so, did you get it? No problem. And we see two of Sukuna's fingers. Special grade cursed object Ryomen Sukuna. I have the 6 that were stored at Jujutsu High. Plus I got the special grade cursed objects death painted wombs, numbers 1 to 3. Jujutsu High's Buddhist temple facade is just that, a facade. Thanks to Tengen's barrier technique, the building's location changes every day. There are over 1,000 doors, but only one connects to the storeroom where the fingers and other highly dangerous cursed objects are located. Whew, I had to breathe that one out. Yo, Ravi, what is going on? I'm wondering why it's making the chat appear at the bottom instead of at the top. That's kind of odd that it would do that. Normally... hold on, let me refresh the page. That actually is kind of odd why it's got it situated differently. Well, yo, Ravi, what's going on? Good to see you. Sorry, got distracted there. Let's continue. There are over 1,000 doors, but only one connects to the storeroom where the fingers and other highly dangerous cursed objects are located. Only Tengen knows which door leads to the storeroom, so there shouldn't be many obstacles. Who is this Tengen guy anyway? a jujutsu sorcerer who possesses the immortality curse technique. And then we have Jogo there going, immortality? Then who's stronger, Gojo or Tengen? And then Geto is there saying, immortality, not anti-aging. It's comparable to something like a tree. Other than the barrier, Tengen doesn't interfere with this world. Don't worry about it. Before we let Jujutsu High retrieve the finger, I put a talisman on it made with Mahito's cursed energy. It's an advanced seal from the inside, so it shouldn't come undone. As the source, you should be able to find it easily. And then Mahito, as they're chilling on the beach environment, in I guess one of these 1,000 Doors area that we've seen them in earlier in the series, Mahito says, any guards? Only 2 of Tengen's small fry assistants between the door and the storeroom. More importantly, Mahito, I want you to thin out as many sorcerers as possible at the school before the curtain disappears. Take pressure off of Hanami. And then Mahito is speaking as they go, why don't we keep Satoru Gojo inside the curtain? We don't want to bring attention to Mahito and our true objective. Also, if we don't actually try our hardest, we won't be able to test the curtain. Trapping the students makes the most sense. So we can kill anyone other than Sukuna's vessel? Sure, but I wouldn't recommend it. And this surprises Hanami because this is when they were talking about their plan before they raided the Goodwill Event. This is the events that happen with Geto and the other cursed spirits before all this stuff went down in the last 2 volumes. There's something about Sukuna that doesn't align with what I was expecting. This is just a theory, but there's a landmine for Sukuna among the students. Worst case scenario, if we were to trigger it, our plan might be over. If that happens, we should just kidnap Itadori. He's just a pawn for us to use anyway. And then, oh, okay, I didn't overshoot. It's just that some of the pages were a little bit stuck. No, Itadori and Sukuna himself are a bomb to us and to Jujutsu High. We shouldn't set it off until the moment we need the most chaos. On October 31st in Shibuya, we need to prepare ourselves for sealing Satoru Gojo with everything we've got. Also, we'll have a few curse users with us. Juzo Kumiya, he's disposable. He's the type to not follow instructions, so he'll get in the way. The curtain will be monitored by another human, so try to get along, okay? And then Mahito says, you hear that, Jogo? I'm not part of it anyway. And then it cuts back to the cave, where Mahito says to Hanami, and picks them up saying, come on, get up, Hanami. Let's go home. And then Hanami says, Mahito, it's quite stressful to put the brakes on killing intent, isn't it? And then this surprises Mahito. And that's when Mahito says, you're sounding more and more like a curse, Hanami. Then we cut to Ijichi as he's talking with the principals and other faculty members of the Jujutsu high schools as he goes, human casualties are as follows. 3 grade 2 sorcerers, 1 semi-grade 1 sorcerer. 5, does this movie have a TV series? Yeah, Jujutsu does have an anime series, but what I'm reading to is going to be going past the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen. And I'm excited because now I get to find out more of the story, Audrius. 3 grade 2 sorcerers, 1 semi-grade 1 sorcerer, 5 auxiliary managers, 2 storage attendants, plus the sorcerers waiting at the school, and those moving separately from Gojo and Principal Yaga. We're waiting on word from Ieri, but the involvement of the cursed Nanami fought is all but confirmed. And then Gojo just goes, tch. And then Utahime says, should we share this information with the students and other sorcerers? And then Gakuganji says, no. And Yaga goes, it should be kept secret among the authorities. We don't want cursed users knowing that a special grade cursed object was stolen. Have we gotten anything out of the captured curse user? And then EGG goes, it's not that he's stubborn, he's just babbling incoherent nonsense. According to him, he was involved with the attack because he made a deal and was under orders. And then it cuts to Juzo as he's saying, I wanted to make a hanger rack, and I don't know that monk's name. That monk kid with the white hair. I'm not even sure if they're a she or a he. Then it cuts to someone standing with Mahito and the rest of them in the beach area where they are, and it has this person with a, I guess, white hair standing right behind them. And then Mei goes, a monk kid with white hair whose gender is uncertain. Any ideas? Gojo goes, nope. Maybe he's just talking nonsense. Are there any sorcerers who specialize at making people confess? And Utahime goes, why were cursed spirits and non-staff members able to escape Master Tenkin's barrier anyway? I think it may have to do with that special grade curse the students fought. It has a peculiar presence. It's definitely a cursed spirit, but it's close to a regular spirit. According to Aoi, it can get into plants as well. Master Tenkin's barrier wouldn't be effective against plants, right? Master Tenkin's barrier hides rather than protects. It can be easily infiltrated. And this is Gojo having an inner monologue as he goes, are they feeling threatened by Yuji and his growing strength from the fingers? Or are they trying to increase their own strength? Something's off. And then Utahime says, for now, let's be happy the students are saved. And then Gakuganji goes, he's upset that Yuji wasn't killed during this whole thing. And then Yaga goes, it goes without saying that the Goodwill event is over. And then Gojo goes, hey, that's not for us to decide. And then all of the faculty members are standing there looking surprised at him. And then we cut to Fushiguro. And apparently Yuji's going, apparently Nobara's talking to Yuji as she goes, since when were you buddies with that gorilla? I wouldn't say we're buddies. I remember what happened, but I wasn't really myself. Were you drunk? Fujisaki, do you really think I'm the kind of person who would drink in a situation like that? That hurts. And then Fushiguro's just there chilling, eating. And then Yuji goes, but anyway, we're glad you're okay, Fushiguro. And Fushiguro goes, it ended up being a good thing that I was out of cursed energy. Once we got rid of the roots, the Yeti was able to heal me. I'd prefer something easier on the stomach as he's eating, and everyone's eating pizza. They're all eating pizza. Ooh, pizza sounds good right about now. So things like that happen too, huh? And that's Yuji saying this. And then Fushiguro really doesn't say anything. And then Nobara goes, you fought against it, right? And then Fushiguro goes, Itadori, you've gotten stronger. We talked about our own truths back then. Maybe we were both right, or both wrong. And then Nobara goes, these are questions that don't have an answer, you know. You're overthinking it. You're gonna go bald. And then Fushiguro goes, yeah, there's no answer. It comes down to whether you can come to terms with it or not. Also, if you guys want to see what I am seeing, then you can read from the official Shonen Jump Viz side or whichever other side you prefer. It's impossible to do that without a sense of self. Weak jujutsu sorcerers don't have a sense of self. I'll also get stronger and surpass you. And then Yuji just goes, that's more like it. And Nobara goes, don't forget about me. And then Toto is there as he goes, as expected of my brother's friends. And he surprises everyone as he's just there. And then immediately Yuji jumps out the window and runs from Toto. Come back, brother! I'm thankful, but please, enough, I wasn't myself. What are you talking about? You've been like that since junior high. I don't go to junior high with you. Then it cuts to a baseball field as we have Miwa there. Hey there, Miwa the Useless here. Even though I call myself that, I don't think I'm actually that bad. However, while everyone is putting their lives on the line against a special great curse, I was playing the role of Sleeping Beauty, so I'm a little embarrassed. Who broke my sword anyway? My sister? After all said and done, we thought the Goodwill event was over, but after one day's rest, we're playing baseball. And pretty much everyone is just ready and prepared to play baseball. I forgot to link this stream and post it for people. I forgot to do that. Hold on, let me do that. Let me do that real quick. Let me do that real quick. Give me a sec. I should have did this at the beginning, but I wanted to get right into the story. Don't worry. I'll knock this out real quick. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ah, perfect. I was able to get through the theme song and read through this. But everyone's playing baseball. And that's the end of chapter 53. Onwards to chapter 54, Jujutsu Kaisen. And here we have some supplementary info. When Gojo was doing his hollow purple, apparently it says, in the final pages of the previous volume, it looks like Gojo swooped in to steal the kill. However, this was just the lack of communication with Todo. Gojo isn't familiar with the specifics of Todo's curse technique. So he pretty much just shot it in one random direction. In the direction of where Hanami was, without knowing where everyone else was. Specifically, I guess. Chapter 54, Jujutsu Kaisen. And then we cut to Gojo as he goes, so a lot of stuff happened and people even died. What do you guys think? Should we continue the event? And then Yuji's going, what kind of a question is that? Then yeah, we should continue. And it's Todo. It's Todo as he says, then yeah, we should continue. Todo! And Todo's just there. And then Gojo goes, what makes you say that? There he is! First off, mourning should be reserved for those who were close to the deceased. It's none of our concern. Second, if there were fatalities, what should be expected of us is to get stronger. Acquired strength is dictated by the accumulation of results. To suffer defeat or experience victory, we grow regardless. Results are important because they exist as results. And then it cuts to Miwa going, Todo-senpai is actually pretty reliable. And then Mai just goes, he's reliably crazy. And then Todo goes, third, this unsettled feeling of having unfinished business during our school days will stick with us until the day we die. And then it cuts to Gojo going, how old are you again? And then Fushiguro goes, I don't mind. Nobara says, we'll win anyway. Then it cuts to Kamo going, he sounds ridiculous, but he does have a point. And then Momo goes, why don't you rest, Kamo? Then Panda goes, no objections. Inumaki goes, salmon. Then Maki goes, are the pairings for the individual portion drawn at random? And then Gojo goes, huh? We're not doing that this year. And this surprises everyone. And then Gojo explains, then we get an explanation going, the principals from both schools make suggestions for the events held each day. This is done over 2 days, but that's just a ruse. It's always the group portion on the first day and the individual portion on the second day. I don't like routines. And then he tosses something to Yuji. Every year we put suggestions in this box and look at them on opening day. Opening day, as explained by Ichiji, is the meeting held earlier with Principal Gakuganji was just to confirm the necessary materials for the opening. And Yuji draws it out, and it's a paper that reads out baseball. And this surprises both Gakuganji and Yaga, who are directly next to Yuji. Baseball? And then it cuts to Gojo, who just dips and he's whistling and he's leaving everyone else while Gakuganji goes, what's the meaning of this, Yaga? And Yaga goes, no, I'm sure I suggested an individual, Satoru, get back here! And Satoru just switched up the entire event and then he just dipped. Then we cut back to the baseball game as Miwa is batting up. Second batter, second baseman Miwa. Pop up! Nishimiya, don't run yet! Huh? Why? If you don't know the rules, just say so! First batter, outfielder Nishimiya. I do, I run when the ball is hit, right? Sacrifice fly? Why baseball? I don't know anything about baseball. They should play cricket. I'm Indian, we love cricket. I mean, it's Japanese. They like baseball instead of cricket. But I feel like it was done because Gojo likes to troll people. He really, really likes to troll people. So I guess he did it to get under the skin of Yaga and Gakuganji.
Sacrifice fly? What is that, a new form of torture? You idiot!
Then Kamo steps up to bat. Third batter, third baseman, Kamo. So, you survived the special grade. And then Yuji goes, huh? Oh, not really. Don't you need a helmet? Because Kamo doesn't have a baseball helmet on. Sixth batter, catcher, Itadori. It's thanks to Toto and Gojo-sensei. Itadori. Why did you become a jujutsu sorcerer? It just sort of happened. I'm a loner. I want to help a lot of people. So when I die, I'll be surrounded by a lot of people. And then it cuts to thoughts of Kamo in his past going, if I can't be with you, mother, then I won't become a jujutsu sorcerer. And then it cuts to his mother saying, you've got so much potential, Noritoshi. You can help a lot of people. You'll be respected by those you save. Then you'll be the one who will receive help when you need it. You'll only be alone for now. Become a great jujutsu sorcerer. And please come find me one day, okay? And then it cuts back to the present as Kamo goes, I see. But then it cuts to Kamo saying, that's a great reason. And in between these spaces of him saying this, he gets striked out because he doesn't swing at all. Strike 3, you're out of there. Change sides, goes Gojo. And then it cuts to Utahime going, Kamo, you gotta swing! Then we have first batter, third baseman, Kujisaki. Bottom of the first. You can call me Tohoku's Masahiro. Wow, I am butchering this, my bad. You can call me Tohoku's Masahiro Tanaka. Tohoku's Tanaka is Tanaka. And then it cuts to Itadori saying, Tanaka's a pitcher anyway. And Nobara gets upset. Then we cut to the pitcher, Mekamaru. Mekamaru is the pitcher.
Wait a minute, that's just a pitching machine. Kujisaki's lost it, she's charging the mound.
Then it cuts to Mai, who says, what are you talking about? It's a spare Mekamaru. We didn't have a choice since that panda of yours destroyed the other one the other day. First batter, fifth batter, first baseman, Zenin Mai. Pitching machine? What's that? You know a lot about machines. What are you, a geek?
It's one thing after another with you. Despite your flaws, you're still a Jujutsu high school student.
High student. And then it cuts to Nobara going, hey, she got on base. She's nuts. No, it cuts to Yuji saying, hey, she got on base. And Fushiguro going, she's nuts, as she manages to hit the ball and run for the base. Then we cut to second batter outfielder, Fushiguro. And he does a sacrifice bunt. Then it cuts to Panda, third batter, first baseman, Panda, as he manages to hit the ball as well. And then it cuts to fourth batter, pitcher, Zenin Maki, as she hits the ball and sends it flying into the air. And then she throws her bat down and starts walking away going, all right, that's 3 runs. Then it cuts to Momo, who, using her broom, is in the air and she catches it before it hits the ground, which surprises Maki, Panda, and Nobara. What? No fair! Fish flakes. Get back on base, Kujisaki. Due to a lack of players, one member from each team may use Jujutsu. Then we cut to Toto as he says, hey, catcher, huh? Catching, throwing, reading the game, fielding, etc. A position worthy of you, brother. Top of the second. Then it cuts to Toto, who's the fourth batter and catcher, Toto, as he says, but what I seek is a one-on-one duel with Itadori as the pitcher. And then it just cuts to Yuji going, Toto, why don't you pitch? No can do, only Mekamaru can be the pitcher. Bit my tongue. Only Mekamaru can be the pitcher right now. Promise me, brother, if I hit a home run here, you'll pit, and then before he can even get the sentence out, he gets hit in the face with a ball by Maki, who intentionally threw it at his face. And Toto falls over as Yuji screams up, Toto, hang in there! Then Mai goes, nice pitch. And everyone says nice pitch. Kamo says it, Momo says it, Fushiguro says it, Nobara says, nice pitch, Maki. And then it cuts to Yuji going, Toto, you... are seriously hated. And then it cuts to Yaga and Principal Gakuganji sitting down as Yaga goes, "Do you still hate Itadori?" And then Gakuganji goes, "It's not a matter of whether I hate him or not. If we're going by Jujutsu rules, his mere presence cannot be tolerated. The only reason he's alive is because of Gojo's ego. Bending the rules of the group for an individual is not okay. And the fact that he remains alive could result in mass death." Then Yaga goes, "However, there are lives that have been saved thanks to him as well. In reality, with Todo, he was able to survive against the special grade. Regret isn't just limited to the students, but he will experience a lot of it. I should have done that. I wish they'd done this. I wish they had done that. I should have said that. I wish they had told me that. Whether the decision about Itadori was correct or not, to be honest, I can't say for sure. For now, why don't we support him while we watch over him?" Then it cuts to Inumaki as Yuji goes, "Whoa, he's safe!" And then Fushiguro goes, "Inumaki-senpai is really fast, you know. Fifth batter, second baseman, Inumaki. Salted fish roe." And then it cuts to Utahime going, "My, Miwa, watch out for the steal!" Then it cuts to Gakuganji as he says, "A regret as adults can wait." And then it cuts to Itadori as he hits a ball, and he knocks it straight out of the park. He hits a full home run. As Maki goes, "That's gone," and Momo tries to catch it, but she misses. And Yuji just goes, "All right. Sister School Goodwill Event, Day 2, Baseball. Tokyo 2, Kyoto 0. 30th Annual Goodwill Event winner, Tokyo High." So Gojo and his whole side, they win the Sister School Goodwill Event. Then it cuts to Gakuganji as he goes, "Yaga, how about you do something about Gojo first?" And Yaga doesn't say anything as Gojo is just singing to himself in the background. And then it cuts, that's the end of chapter 54. Onwards to chapter 55, The Origin of Obedience. Like I said, the auto-locked door was left wide open. I told you last week too, didn't I? Why am I paying such a high management fee? Crap, are you kidding me? Today? Today, come inspect it now. I don't care if it's the weekend. And as he walks away, we see like a curse in the path of this door, and that's the reason why it's open. He says, "Come inspect it now. I don't care if it is the weekend, or I'll kill you." Then we get a picture of this guy and some other people. June Morioka, Taichi, Canada. August, Yokohama, Osamu Shimada. September, Nagoya. Wow, this is gonna mess me up. These names are gonna mess me up as I try to read them out. September, Nagoya Hiroshi Yamato. These three died under the same circumstances, stabbed to death at the entrances to their respective apartments. Also, all three had recently complained to building management that the auto lock on the automatic doors was unlocked. However, none of the other residents noticed. Jujutsu High Auxiliary Manager Akari Nita. So we get introduced to her. We're entering into the end of the first season of the anime. And once we go beyond that, it's anyone's guess where the story goes from there, because that's going to be unseen territory for me. When I get past the anime, that's when things are going to get good. However, none of the other residents notice. And then Fushiguro goes, "But all the dates and locations are different. Did they really get killed by the same cursed spirit?" And Yuji says, "Does the door issue have anything to do with the cursed spirit? Would a cursed spirit even trip a door sensor? They don't show up on cameras." And then Akari says, "It's not the door sensor. The door operator was influenced by the cursed spirit and went crazy." Right. Operator? It's hard to confirm from the crime scenes whether or not it's the same cursed spirit, because some time had elapsed after the crime. So we investigated, trying to find a common thread that connected all three. What we learned was that they all went to the same junior high for 2 years. And then Nobara goes,
So the three of them got the same curse, and then it manifested after all these years? Yep, there's a good chance that's the case. We're on our way to talk to a classmate who knew all three. I'd like you three there to observe as jujutsu sorcerers. Then we cut to the funeral of the Morishita family, as they are all just in the background. And then Yuji goes, a funeral? This is where their classmate lives, says Nobara. And then Akari says, yeah, but this ain't good. Seems like he died the same way as the other three. He lived with his parents, but there's no autolock. But he was killed in front of the entrance. He claimed that even though the door was unlocked, it wouldn't open, or so the family says. There's like a film that was over my eye. I couldn't even see partially through it. His parents aren't sure whether he had a relationship to the other three. Oh well, that was our only lead. No problemo, says Yuji. No problemo, there's gotta be something at this school. And then we cut to Saitama Urami East Junior High. Oh, so not only am I reading One Punch Man, but Saitama makes an appearance in Jujutsu Kaisen. Then it cuts to Nobara. She goes, oh, we got some punks over there. Let's teach them some discipline and beat them up. And then Itadori just goes, why? Then the two delinquents are smoking outside, and they look in the direction of Fushiguro, and they immediately run up, scream, and bow their heads going, hello, sorry for not greeting you properly. And then Nobara goes, that's more like it. And then Yuji just goes, one Zora is hard to hide, huh? We haven't seen you since graduation, Fushiguro-san. And that's when it hits both Yuji and Nobara, as Fushiguro kind of looks off in one direction. And this kind of has Akari looking over in direction. And Yuji and Nobara look in Fushiguro's direction, as Fushiguro goes, my junior high here. And they grab his face going, that's surprising too, but what the heck? What's going on? Wait, we should just ask them. Hey, idiot A and B, what this guy do to you? To us? Half the punks in this area have been beaten to a pulp by Fushiguro-san. And this surprises Yuji and Nobara, and they look in the exact same panel. Like they emulate the exact same panels on both pages. The exact same 4 panels on both pages. As Fushiguro, as they both look at Fushiguro, they're all like, huh? 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 They do the same. Oh, I love this. I love this story. And Fushiguro just goes, beaten. Pulp. Why can't you talk all of a sudden? What? What's going on? Goes Yuji. And then it has someone running up saying, hey, who are you guys? Are you from a different school? You can't come in here. Who the heck are you? Obviously one of the faculty. What's with the attitude? Goes Yuji. And then Akari goes, we have a permit. Oh, it's you guys. But you're all so young. Gotta wear that around your neck, though. Is that you, Fushiguro? Hello. He's notorious, whispers Yuji and Nobara in the background. Has this person been at this school a long time? Probably. Takeda-san's a part-time worker around here. Then I'll leave it to you. Abandoning your duties. Sorry, my nose is a little bit stuffy. Kanada, Shimada, Yamato, and now Morishita. I was shocked to hear they all died, but also, I can't believe it's already been 20 years since they graduated. It feels like it was just yesterday. They weren't as bad as you, Fushiguro, but they were troublemakers. What do you need to know? Any strange and dark rumors or connections with bad people? And then Nobara and the rest of them are poking fun at Fushiguro going, troublemaker. And then, as Fushiguro says, it could be karma getting what they had coming. As he slaps Yuji, like he hits Yuji in the face as he says, it could be karma getting what they had coming. Then the custodian, Takeda-san, goes, dark rumors. Troublemakers, yes, but nothing out of the ordinary for junior high students. But as far as karma. And then the two delinquents that are there are going, what about the Yasohachi Bridge bungee jumping? Idiots A and B, you're both still here? And then it cuts to Yuji going, Yasohachi Bridge? It's known for suicides. It's also a famous hotspot for paranormal activity. And then Takeda goes, that's right. Bungee jumping off the bridge in the middle of the night was popular for middle of the night was popular with the punks back then. It was kind of a test of courage.
What kind of gang is that?
Yuji goes, there are actually a lot of people even more stupid than me. And then Fushiguro goes, what do you use for a cord? And then the delinquents go, we don't do it. It's the generation before us, but we heard the stories. One day 4 students didn't show up to school, which is nothing strange. But when the school called their parents, it turns out they hadn't come home the night before. The news spread like wildfire and they were found unconscious below the bridge. They were all reprimanded, but apparently none of them could remember anything. Then it cuts to Akari going, a lead. And then it cuts to Fushiguro going, I've been to Yasuhachi Bridge before. To Bungee? And then, ow! And then Fushiguro cracks him over the head. Paranormal spots like schools attract curses, so the Jujutsu High staff goes there often. And then, there wasn't anything special there last time I went. It's famous for paranormal activity, but it's still being used as a normal bridge.
Anywho, we need to go there,
says Nobara. And then, it cuts to Takahata saying, Fushiguro, how's Sumiki? And then Fushiguro just goes, good. And then Yuji goes, who's Sumiki? My older sister.
What? You never told us anything about yourself,
goes Nobara. And then it cuts to Mahito that has like the 3 wombs that he stole from the Jujutsu High School.
Why don't they destroy cursed objects like these?
And then Geito's there with him in some room, some place. As he says, when it's special grade, they just can't do it. They halt its live stream, but preserve its existence with a constraint that prevents it from doing any further damage. But Sukuna is doing damage. That's an exception. He became a cursed object, but even after being split into 20 pieces, he's still able to attract curses after all this time. And choose his vessel. So,
the death painting can be anyone.
And then it cuts to someone who's been nailed to the wall. Like the dude is naked, but he's nailed to the wall by his hands as he screams out, hey, you want money? I don't have much, but I can take out a loan or something.
Are we sure about this? Even under these circumstances, he can't see me. He's got no potential.
And as Mahito grabs him by the face, he shoves one of these wombs into his mouth. And as he forces it down, he says, open wide. And then blood starts coming out of the guy's eyes as this happens to him. Then it cuts to Akari going, we're here. Koi no Kuchi Canyon Yasuhachi Bridge. When you make contact with the cursed spirit, I'll lower the curtain. And then it cuts to Mahito, who's standing in front of this guy who he transformed with this wound as he goes, hey there, sorry to bother you so early in the morning, but do you think you could run some errands for me? And the guy has been basically transmogrified thanks to this cursed object that he's forced down his throat. Forcefully. The dude is beyond recognition now. And that was the end of chapter 55. Onwards to chapter 56, The Origin of Obedience, part 2. And it cuts to Mahito saying the same thing again.
Hey there, sorry to bother you so early in the morning, but do you think you could run some errands for me?
And the cursed spirit is just standing there. And then we get images of Mahito, Geito, Gojo, and what looks to be Yuta, as well as it shows Sukuna and Yuji. And then it cuts to Yuji, Nobara, and Fushiguro just yawning as they sit on the bridge as cars go by. Where exactly is this curse supposed to be? And it cuts to Fushiguro saying, we couldn't even feel any traces of a curse. And Akari goes, for real? Does that mean this is a lost cause and we have to start over? We can't waste too much time, goes Yuji. Why? Says Nobara. And Yuji goes, this is a famous paranormal spot, right? There may be a lot of others out there who are cursed. And we're looking at a 100% death rate. We can't afford to let more people die. And Nobara goes, true. And then Akari goes, they were into bungee jumping, right? Maybe it has something to do with the act of jumping down. We already tested that theory with Itadori. What? You mean with that plastic cord? Hey, there you are! Fushiguro-san! Who's that again? Fushiguro is his senpai. Don't you remember picking on him? And then it cuts to one of the delinquents that was there at the school earlier, who's traveling there with someone. Glad I found you. Weren't you talking about Yasuhachi Bridge? Fujinuma? Classmate. This is my older sister. I'm glad you still remember me. I was telling my sis about how I saw you yesterday. And then Fujiyuma's talking to everyone else going, I saw that the Morishita family had a funeral ceremony. My brother was telling me about how you guys are investigating Morishita and the bridge. I thought maybe it was more than a coincidence. No curse talk, got it? What do you mean, says Fushiguro. I mean, there's a connection with Morishita's death and the bridge. It's irrelevant, during my second year of junior high, I went to Yasuhachi Bridge at night. Yikes! Goes Nobara. And then Akari goes, anything weird going on at home these days? Maybe something only you find odd? Our home is also the local neighborhood store. For whatever reason, and this only happens to me when I come home, the automatic doors are wide open. My mom and dad say it's nothing, but there's definitely something there. And as it cuts to her own perspective of the door, it's like a dark void is hanging over the entrance to their store. And Fujinuma continues as she says, I've been so scared, but then I heard about Fushiguro, and I remembered about the bridge. And then Akari continues with her interrogation as she goes, when did you start noticing the door? And Fujinuma goes, a week ago. It happens about every other day. All four of the victims died at least 2 weeks after reporting the strange events. We still have a little time, it thinks both Fushiguro and Yuji. It's not like you went to Yasuhachi Bridge alone that night, did you? Do you remember who was with you? Says Nobara. So does that mean there's a connection? And then Akari goes, just the door, but it's not related to Morishita's death. No worries. I just got Fushiguro and the others here to help me do some research for a college report. The title's Electronic Waves Emitted from Paranormal Spots and Their Effect on Electronic Equipment. It's super boring. Because she's trying to put Fujinuma off of, thinking about it any further and any adverse things that could be transpiring because of the event that's going on. But I want to talk to as many people as possible, so can you tell me who was with you that night? Now that I've lied, I have no choice but to help her. And Fujinuma goes, I went with 2 upperclassmen from my club. Oh yeah, Fushiguro. Sumiki-san was with me. And this surprises Fushiguro because Sumiki-san was with me. Because Sumiki is Fushiguro's older sister. And this puts Yuji and Nobara on alert. And then Fushiguro looks nonchalant as he goes, okay, I guess I'll ask her about it. And then Fujinuma and her brother both leave. And then it cuts to Yuji saying, Fushiguro! And as he looks at Fushiguro, Fushiguro has the most cold and most scared look on his face because now his sister is involved with these events. Fushiguro, snap out of it! First, we gotta check if she's okay, right? I'm fine. Sorry, I'll be right back. Then we cut to Jujutsu High, as we cut to Ijiji as he goes, understood, we'll have a bodyguard with Sumiki-san. However, we only have grade 2 Jujutsu sorcerers available at the moment. Grade 2. If we have more curse victims than estimated, we may have to reevaluate what rank we classify the curse. It's likely that the mission was assigned with Itadori's recent growth in mind. If it seems to be getting even more dangerous, even grade 2 may not be enough. Personally, I recommend that you retreat. That includes all of you. And then Fushiguro really doesn't say anything, as he thinks, what now? Should I go back by myself? No, it's a dangerous mission with even the 3 of us. I can't let those 2 handle it by themselves. Gojo-sensei returns next week. Should we try when he's back? No, the problem is there's a time limit. It's not the type of curse that attacks, and if it's the type that activates a curse technique from the inside of its mark, I won't even be able to protect her. It must be exorcised now. Then it cuts to Nobara going, "Why are you talking to Ichi-san?" "Is your sis okay?" says Yuji. "She's fine. Anyway, the mission is more dangerous now. It's being given to other sorcerers. You guys go home." And then it cuts to everyone getting inside the car except for Fushiguro, as Yuji goes, "You guys, what about you, Fushiguro?" "I'll be right behind you after I see Takeda-san. Now go." And then as they drive away, why do I keep calling him Takeda? It's Takeda. It's Takeda. I've been reading that wrong. But as they're driving away, Yuji looks on at Fushiguro, and then it cuts to Akari once talking previously as she goes, "Fujinuma-san didn't go up on the bridge itself. The test of courage was down below. But Itadori went down below as well. It probably does no good to jump from up top. If the curse is in a barrier, the order is going to be important. At night, down below, and one more thing. As Fushiguro thinks, it's impossible to continuously expand a domain endowed with the curse technique, which makes this domain incomplete, like the one we saw at the detention center. It's a blessing. There's no need for a curtain this time around." And then Fushiguro is directly under the bridge. And then it cuts to Nobara and Yuji, who are there with Fushiguro. As it turns out, they didn't go back after all, and they stuck around. "You never tell us anything about yourself." "That's right." "You didn't even notice us until now. You must really be freaked out." "We're not saying you gotta tell us everything, but you can at least depend on us. We're your friends." And then it cuts to Fushiguro as he says, "Sumiki is still asleep. The Yasuhachi bridge curse will only appear in front of the cursed victims, and since she can't give us any information, we don't know when she'll be killed. That's why I want to exercise it now." Pardon me. "But it's true that the mission is more dangerous. Yeah, we got you," says Nobara as she interrupts him. "You should have told us from the start," says Yuji. And then Fushiguro smiles to himself. "At night down below, and one more thing. There might be a river in the valley." And it shows Yuji and company walking through. And as they're walking through, crossing a river and barriers, that's just Act 1. That act alone has significant meaning in Jujutsu. And as they step through, they step into this big domain now, where this cursed spirit is just hanging in this, I don't know how to describe it, what appears to be like an amalgamation of what looks to be barnacles and different growths attached to one another. It's kind of weird. "There it is! This could be fun." And then the cursed spirit that Mahito created appears out of a void directly behind them. Gah. And this surprises all three of them, Fushiguro, Nobara, and Yuji. "What's this? Somebody's already here?" "Fushiguro, this is something else, right?" "Yeah. You guys focus on that one. This one's mine," as Yuji channels cursed energy into his fist. "What? You gonna play with me?" And thus ends chapter 56. Onwards to chapter 57, The Origin of Obedience, Part 3. We have 4 more chapters after this, and then we can call it a session. So Yuji's going up against this cursed spirit, while Nobara and Fushiguro go up against the one that they just walked into. Then it shows this cursed spirit spewing something at Yuji, but he dodges it. And he tries to kick in the direction of Yuji, but he gets grabbed by the arm as the cursed spirit goes, "I got you!" But then Yuji rights himself, grabs the other arm of this cursed spirit, and then with all his strength, kicks it directly in the face. And kicks it a good distance, even causing a little blood to fly out. But it's hard to tell if it's blood coming from the injury or blood just coming straight out of this cursed spirit's eyes. "What's with the blood he spat out? Is it poisonous?" "What? You're strong. This isn't fun." Then it cuts to Nobara as she and Fushiguro are facing off against this cursed spirit that's using the spouts that's all around it to pop in from different places. Straw doll technique. Resonance! And she hits in one direction, but then the cursed spirit pops into different spots. It's like a weird cursed spirit game of whack-a-mole. And it just shoots up in different spots. Then it pops up into one spot, and then Fushiguro manages to almost hit it, but then it pops up in another spot. We should just think of this as whack-a-mole, right? Yep, exactly as I said. Yeah, just keep crushing the holes for me. It probably won't retaliate. So although it has targets, in exchange for its curse technique's wide range, the main body can attack? Maybe. I'm not sure. All the things we didn't know. The curse techniques area, the number of victims, the barrier, they all seem to drain its main body. We're lucky we should be able to exercise it. Easily. But if that's the case, the real problem comes later. And he's referencing the cursed spirit that Yuji's fighting right now. But then, all of a sudden, Nobara gets grabbed from behind and yanked through. Kujisaki! No worries, you just keep whacking that mole. And she gets pulled in through the portal that opens. Crap, why does she keep getting sucked in everywhere? Where was that? What was that? Neither the one we're fighting nor the other one. Kujisaki! Ah! Who? Older brother? Me too! As the cursed spirit that Yuji's fighting just takes off and jumps through the portal. Hey! It ran away! Should I let it go? Go after it. That thing and Kujisaki are outside the barrier now. She might actually be up against something much worse than we expected. Handling things on this side shouldn't be a problem. Kujisaki's a priority. Go! If you're in trouble, you better get out too, goes Yuji as he goes through the portal as well. Then it shows Nobara getting pulled through by this unseen cursed spirit as she says, why you? Don't touch me! And then it cuts to this cursed spirit who's in like this, I want to say Chippendales outfit. It's like a dude-looking spirit, but he has like a collar, and then he has like suspenders that go into stockings, and then he's in a Speedo. It's really difficult to describe without you two coming down on me on the way he actually looks. As he says, a female. Apologies. The errand entrusted to us brothers doesn't entail killing Jujutsu sorcerers. Retreat now, and I'll let things be. Errand? Is this a cursed spirit or a cursed user? Which is it? What is this smell? Oh, I thought we were on the same errand. And then it cuts to Fushiguro combating the whack-a-mole cursed spirit. Then he looks in one direction, and it pops up, and Fushiguro notices that it tries to surprise him off to the side. As he says, your surprise attack's too simple. And as he chops in the direction of one of them, it pops up behind him. But as his cursed spirit is, laughing at the fact that he thinks that he's got a Fushiguro, Fushiguro says, like I said, too simple. His dog Shikigami comes in and tears the cursed spirit's head completely off, killing and exorcising it in the process. And then Fushiguro breathed out a sigh of relief as all the spots that the cursed spirit had taken over start to dissipate. Sumiki should be fine now. Up next is... And then Fushiguro stops and notices that the area that the cursed spirit had taken over is still active. It's still alive? That wasn't the main body? The barrier isn't gone either. What's going on? And then the body of the cursed spirit starts to shift around. And then it plops down in front of him. I shouldn't try too hard to find some kind of logic behind the cursed movements, but it's been bugging me this whole time. Why has it only started killing the people it marked now? The first cursed death was in June. And then it cuts back to the moment Yuji ate the finger, and jump-started this entire series. And the thing that comes out of the spot where the cursed spirit was beheaded was the same grade that faced off against Fushiguro and the rest of them inside of the detention center. Our objective, says the one that says the cursed spirit that pulled through Nobara, is to retrieve Sukuna's fingers. And that is the end of chapter 57, onwards to chapter 58. And here, before we get started, we have the description of Principal Gakuganji, Yoshinobu Gakuganji, age 76. Okay, so we've actually got another person who's older than me, because everyone else is under my age. I'm 30, and everyone else was under my age until Yaga and Gakuganji. And I believe Utahime. No, Utahime was like 29. Yoshinobu Gakuganji. His mysterious eyebrows change in length depending on his mood. He loves Jimi Hendrix. Okay, I got a little bit more respect for you now. And he's looking for a drummer. He has a band. He has a rock band. The 76-year-old principal has a rock band, and he loves Jimi Hendrix. That rises him up on the ladder I had him at before. Still don't like him because he rather kill Yuji, but he's placed a little bit higher since he loves Jimi Hendrix. Chapter 58, The Origin of Obedience, Part 4. The ones that possess an immense presence, the ones that are hiding, the ones that are already consumed by cursed spirits, they're all resonating, goes this cursed spirit, as it's thinking of the fingers. One of Sukuna's fingers was hiding inside a cursed spirit. When Itadori consumed the finger in June, it released its cursed energy. It looks the same, but compared to the one at the detention faculty, it's much. And then it shows the cursed spirit channeling energy in its hands and shooting at Fushiguro. It's much stronger, and it destroys the cursed tool that Fushiguro was using this whole time. Then it rushes Fushiguro, and it moves so fast that it tries to punch where Fushiguro is. But Fushiguro is protected by his werewolf Shikigami, and then he calls in Nue! And then it shows a cursed spirit directly in front of Fushiguro, and then we cut to Gojo in the past fighting with Fushiguro. I win. Again. No surprise you asked me to train you. Are you feeling pressure because of Yuji's growth? Well, beggars can't be choosers. Is it that annoying to ask me? Megumi, I think your skill and potential are probably higher than Yuji's. All that's left is the mental aspect. Megumi, you don't know how to bring out your best, do you? What? Are you saying that I'm not trying my best? No, I'm saying you don't know how. Just look at the baseball game. Why did you bunt? You sacrificed yourself so that Nobara could advance. Well, good for you. But people like Yuji and me are always swing for the fences. I'm not saying a sacrifice bunt is bad. Baseball is a team sport in which each member is expected to play their role. However, being a jujutsu sorcerer is an individual sport. But isn't coordinating with other sorcerers important? Yes, but no matter how many allies you have around you, you die alone. You're underestimating yourself and others, instead of envisioning yourself as being stronger in the near future. Maybe it's because of the ace up your sleeve you think in a worst-case scenario. If you were to sacrifice yourself, your death would make things end well. Keep that up and you can forget about becoming as strong as me. You won't even match up to Nanami. Winning by dying and winning even if you die are two completely different things, Megumi. And then he taps Megumi in the forehead. Give it your all. It's okay to be selfish. And then it cuts to Fushiguro, who apparently got launched by this cursed spirit, as he's bleeding from the section of his eye. How long was I out? Was my divine dog destroyed? No, my technique's finished. This is the end for me. With this treasure, a wasted treasure. And then the cursed spirit that was smiling this whole time loses its frown as it stares at Fushiguro. Never mind. A jujutsu sorcerer's growth never comes easy. Bring forth the deepest shadows. And don't worry about the exact form for now. Just push it forward from your focus cursed energy. Picture it in your head. Here we go, with no boundaries. Having a firm base, skill, and imagination can help a person change, and thanks to the slightest of events, a future me can surpass his limits. Domain expansion. Chimera Shadow Garden. And then Fushiguro activates his domain expansion, and then different growths just come out of the ground. As Fushiguro just starts laughing. It's incomplete. How pathetic. But for now. And it shows Fushiguro, who's pushing his body to its limit, causing blood to come out of his eyes. Blood to come out of his nose and mouth, and from his forehead even more now. And then this cursed spirit starts stumbling, and it starts getting grabbed by the shadows in his domain expansion. This should be enough. And as it tries to swipe in one direction, it immediately gets kicked in the face by Fushiguro. And then it tries to fight even more, but Fushiguro's not having it. More freely. Think bigger. And then it shows Fushiguro getting hit squarely in the head. But it turns out that this Fushiguro was like a shadow clone, which surprises this special grade. This is my technique's interpretation. And then two new ways go flying, and it slices it into the throat of the spirit. Then the spirit itself tries to use its own domain cursed energy to repel the shadows. And it dissipates all the shadows around it. And it laughs at itself, but then it immediately gets hit through the chest by the werewolf Shikigami created by Fushiguro as he goes, "Even divine dog's claws hurt it. Stabbing you when you're not paying attention is no trouble." And then with that, after basically putting his fists, his divine dog's fists through the chest of the spirit, he ends up exercising it. And then Fushiguro falls unconscious as he goes, "I'm tired." And that's the end of chapter 58. Onwards to chapter 59, The Origin of Obedience, Part 5. How many chapters do I have? 63? No, 61. We're almost there. Only 3 more chapters. Chapter 59, The Origin of Obedience, Part 5. And then it cuts to Fushiguro, knelt on the ground, holding one of Sukuna's fingers as his domain expansion dissipates. Where are they? And then it cuts to Sukuna going, "Good, that's good." As it shows Fushiguro coughing up a little blood, and then he falls unconscious beneath the bridge. Apparently, Sukuna was able to sense that Fushiguro was able to get his hands on one of his fingers. Do you know what the bare minimum requirement is for human interaction? No. And then apparently Fushiguro is laying on a mound of beat up people back during his high school year. I will not kill you, so please do not kill me. You can replace kill with anything else. Basically, you shouldn't cross any line that violates another person's dignity. You should acknowledge each other's existence. That's the rule. You ignored it and fed your stupid ego and treated it like a nuisance. East Urami Junior High second year student Megumi Fushiguro. Did that make you feel good? If I see you do it again, I'll kill you. Did we do something to you? Figure it out yourself, or just die. And then it cuts to Takeda, who's saying, "Knock it off!" I'll definitely tell Ikezawa and everyone today that I'm not their lapdog. You got this, you got this. Oh, wait, it was another person saying this. I'll definitely tell Ikezawa and everyone today that I'm not their lapdog. You got this, Aida. But I might be the next punching bag, so don't go overboard. Hey, fatty! Change your plans. Change your plans. I'll tell them that you're the lapdog instead. You're gonna sell me out? Shut it! Wait, isn't that Ikezawa and the rest of them on the ground? Megumi, You said you wouldn't pick fights anymore.
You're not my mom. East Urumi Junior High's third-year student, Sumiki Fushiguro. I hate bad guys. They have no brains and zero emotional capability, but act like they are worth something. Disgusting. I don't like good people. They forgive the bad, as if forgiving them is divine. It makes me puke. It makes me want to puke. Sumiki is a perfect example of a good person. Disgusting. And then Sumiki throws a drink at his head, and it kind of splashes over his head.
Oh, sorry. I didn't think it would open.
In the first grade, my dad and Sumiki's mom got married and then vanished. A weirdo with white hair said, "So, your dad is actually from the reputable Zenin sorcerer family. Even I think he's a loser. He left his family and had you. You're something your dad used against the Zenin family. His trump card. The money he left behind makes sense now. I was sold to the Zenin family. Sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, it's annoying, especially your attitude. But that annoying guy wrote off the situation with the Zenin family. In exchange for working as a Jujutsu sorcerer in the future, we could be collateral and receive financial support from Jujutsu High. Jujutsu sorcerers. How stupid. Who the heck am I supposed to save?
What? Sumiki? What did you do? Oh, what did you do? Ciao, Megumi. Nothing. Are you coming to the bridge? I don't want to, but I'm worried about you, so I'll go.
It happened shortly after I became a third year. Sumiki was cursed. Identity unknown. Origin unknown. Multiple cases nationwide. All we knew was that we didn't know anything. Sumiki still sleeps. I'd rather spend my time thinking about those I love instead of cursing them.
I'd rather spend my time thinking about those I love instead of cursing them.
Always smiling and saying naive things.
It's not a bad thing to not forgive people, Megumi. It's not a bad thing to not forgive people. It shows, Megumi, it shows that you care.
Even spinning my shortcomings into a positive light. But even she would get upset when I hurt somebody. I was annoyed by the peace-loving hypocrisy. But now I know I was wrong. Just like how I chose who to help, you chose who to care for me. You chose to care for me. Yeah, I know. I was immature. I'm sorry, so please wake up already. And then it cuts to Fushiguro, who starts to wake up. Crap, my head hurts. The Yasuhachi Bridge curse was just overlapping. My sister's sleeping curse is probably not undone. What should I tell Itadori about the finger? And then it cuts to Fushiguro going right back to sleep again. Fushiguro is fast asleep. Then we cut to Nobara, who's fighting this other curse user in the Chippendales outfit. All of a sudden, I feel a presence. Did the finger get out of the barrier? Whoever took out the finger bearer is quite formidable. Even so, the finger, even if they fought against a special grade curse and won, they are more than likely didn't come out of it unscathed. Oh wait, this is Nobara saying, even so, the finger, even if they fought against a special grade curse and won, they more than likely didn't come out of it unscathed. I hope they're okay. And then the Chippendales dude starts jumping around as he goes, my apologies, please forget what I said earlier.
Is he trying to go to the finger? Hold it!
Then it cuts to Nobara running up to him. As she goes,
you and your weird way of running. Do you really think you can get away like that?
I'm self-conscious about my back. This is a warning. If you look at my back, I will kill you. Yo, Kujisaki! As Yuji comes in right behind this cursed spirit.
Yo, big bro!
As a cursed spirit comes up, and then it cuts to him getting angry. The cursed spirit getting angry as he goes, You looked! As it shows his back, and it shows like the straps that are on his back obscure like some sort of weird face that's in the back of it that's also bleeding as well. You looked! Huh? Wait, sorry.
Big bro, sorry. It wasn't on purpose.
I'll kill you! And then Nobara takes this chance to pop up right behind this guy and hits him in the head, or at least attempts to hit him in the head.
Yeah, I think she hit him in the head. Then why the heck are you dressed like that? That was the weird smell. It gets stuffy. Supreme Rot Technique. Wing King. And it shows these weird tendrils that pops out of the space in his back's face. Death by Wasp. And that is the end of chapter 59. Onwards to chapter 60, The Origin of Obedience, part 6. Only one more chapter after this, and then we can call it a session for today. Then I can chill and enjoy the rest of my day off. The days of me starting this channel full-time are growing closer and closer, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost there. Oh, I can't wait. Meanwhile, Nita, where'd they go? No answer? Where the heck are you, brats? As she's driving around trying to find Yuji and the rest of them. Supreme Rot Technique. Wing King. As this rot technique turns into actual wings that comes out of his back. Death by Wasp. And then the blood starts to fall onto some rocks, and the rock itself starts to corrode. Kushisaki, don't touch that blood! I know! Start running and turn your backs to me. As his wings spread out, then he tried to launch towards Nobara and Yuji, and they both start running. Kushisaki, can you go faster? No way! And then it shows one of the tendrils touching the back of Nobara's hair, and it starts to burn her hair. Then Yuji picks her up, and immediately picks her up, and he goes, I got your back, okay. And then something went in my eye immediately. It's on my eye. No, it's on my eye. No, I gotta get it. It's on my eye. Sorry about that. It was on my eye and it was bothering me. I wouldn't have been able to get through it. But Yuji picks up Nobara and goes, and with Nobara saying, I got your back. Okay. Am I okay? Yes, I'm fine. There was something landed on my eye and I couldn't just get it out and I had to get it. But it's gone now. I'm fine. Something was in my eye. I hate when that happens, especially when I'm reading. I got your back, goes Nobara. Okay. Then Yuji puts extra strength into it as Yuji runs full tilt with enough force to kick up a massive amount of dust up as he runs. What speed and while carrying another person, goes this cursed spirit as he sends his tendril out to try and grab them, and it keeps chasing them. Think Scorpion's whip thing from the Mortal Kombat movie, the old one from the 90s, as it chases after them. They're getting away, but no matter. And then it shows Yuji and Nobara jumping outside of the forest. All right, we're out of range. Well done, you deserve some praise. Yeah. Just kidding. Thanks. And then it cuts to the other cursed spirit that Yuji was chasing earlier with the big multi-faces that Mahito transformed. And it jumps up, and right behind Yuji, it spews some liquid at him, and he pushes Nobara out of the way as Nobara goes, Itadori! It got here first by taking the direct route. Then, all of a sudden, Nobara gets blindsided by the corrosive rot that the other cursed spirit was shooting out at them. And she gets slightly burned on her left side. There's no need to worry. My younger brother's blood isn't the same quality as mine. You wouldn't even die from mine unless you were drowned in it. But it does hurt like hell. And then he says, our technique starts now. Supreme Rot Technique, Supreme Rot Technique, Decay. And then the areas where they were hit by this blood turns into like flower tattoos. What? Membranes? Membranes, wounds. If you take in one of our blood, and if a brother activates a technique, decay will start spreading from the point of entry. I'd say about 15 minutes for that young man there. 10 minutes for you, miss. By morning, only your bones will be left. If this is a technique, we need to deactivate it, Yuji thinks to himself. So it is poison. Yes, the result is essentially poison. Our technique is decay. I've revealed our curse technique. Inner monologue. In reality, they'll be dead faster than that. Now, what will you do? Big brother, Jujutsu sorcerers aren't anything special. In the beginning of the Meiji era, there was a girl with special genetic makeup who bore a cursed spirit child. A child born of mixed blood, both cursed spirit and human. It was a mysterious pregnancy. She was ostracized by family and friends. She held the child's corpse and fled to a temple in the mountains. However, her luck ran out the minute she arrived at the temple run by Jujutsu sorcerers. Noritoshi Kamo. Among the many Jujutsu historical relics, he would be remembered as the most evil sorcerer in history, a stain on the big three Jujutsu families. The child born from a cursed spirit and human would become a prisoner of his intellectual curiosity. 9 pregnancies, 9 abortions. All records on how this happened and what happened to the girl were destroyed. Death painting wounds, numbers 1 through 3. Cursed objects worthy a special grade. Did cursed energy originate from a mother's hatred? No. They have no memories of their mother. There is no particular hatred towards humans or Jujutsu sorcerers. So it turns out that these cursed spirits are the products of Noritoshi Kamo's experimentation on this woman. They are one of these different death painting wounds. That's why they called each other's brothers, because they come from the same mother, but they were experimented on. For 150 years, with only the faintest notion of another's existence, they survived sealed away. We're siding with that cursed spirit. You sure about that, big brother? Those guys are shady. The future that the cursed spirit has painted is more suited for us. But that's it. Forget about owing them for our freedom. Listen, brothers. Eso, you will live for Keichizu. Keichizu, you will live for me. And I will live for Eso. We 3 are one. And it cuts to Eso, thinking, if it's for my brothers and if my brothers wish for it, I follow that will. If it's too painful, I can kill you now if you like. So we get the names of these cursed spirits. So Eso is the dude in the Chippendale skimpy outfit, and Keichizu is the other cursed spirit that Mahito transformed earlier. But we don't get the name of the other guy. But we do, now I know who this guy is. This are the 3 brothers. Keichizu is this one here. Eso is the one here, but we don't get the name of the other brother here. But they are the 3 that are talking right now. If it's too painful, I can kill you now if you like. Wow, this stream has been carrying on. There's just been a lot to go over. And Nobara starts laughing. A technique where you win if it hits, huh? You guys sure are strong. But it's too bad. I'm a bad match for you. Straw doll technique. Resonance! And then it shows Nobara shoving one of her own nails into her hands. And that's when the resonance starts to be felt by Keichizu and Eso. Let's play a game of chicken, shall we? And that's the end of chapter 60. Onwards to the last chapter for today, chapter 61, The Origin of Obedience, part 7. In the anime, this fight was amazing. The animation style for this entire fight was god tier. But before we begin with this last chapter for today, we have Masamichi Yaga, 47 years old. Thank God he's older than me, because I'm tired of being older than a lot of people here. Even though I'm only 30, it's like, let someone be older than me, please. Masamichi Yaga, 47 years old. I decided on his, and this is Akutami going, I decided on his easily recognizable design while I was working on Volume 0. His catchphrase seemed appropriate for Jujutsu as well. I can't say it because I don't use profanity. He owns a lot of sunglasses. Although he likes cute things, it's not his intention to make his cursed corpses cute. Chapter 61, The Origin of Obedience, Part 7.
You don't like pain, do you?
And then the heart beats between Eso and Keichizu.
Then hurry up and deactivate your cursed technique already.
A counter technique, goes Eso. It's a game of chicken. If I don't deactivate my technique, this will never end. Straw Doll Resonance applies cursed energy to a specific body part using an effigy. This technique causes damage to the targeted area. We get an explanation of her straw doll technique. It's about time. It's been like, what? Several whole volumes? The range of the technique is broad, and its effectiveness depends. Don't think we are going beyond the anime this volume? No, we are not. Because unless it concludes the fight between Nobara, Keichizu, Eso, and Yuji in this one, we are not going beyond it. So that means that Volume 8 will be the one that goes beyond it. Because this fight is the last fight we get in the anime. In the first season of the anime. This fight caps off the anime, and then it has like the little after fight episode where they're talking about Sumiki and all the stuff that was happening with the strange occurrences, and that's where the anime left off. Thank you for bringing that to my recollection, Robbie. Also, once again, happy congratulations on your anniversary as well. Let me say that to you again. But Volume 8 is going to be the one that continues where the anime left off. I thought this would be it, but then I forgot about the whole fight between the two cursed womb brothers. I forgot about that completely. The range of the technique is broad, and its effectiveness depends on the difference between the user and the target's skill level and the value of the targeted part. When it comes to the straw doll technique, blood is not important. However, resonance depends on the connection to the opponent. Since Eso and Keichizu's blood is inside Kujisaki, a strong connection is formed because of the Supreme Rot technique.
It's a nice surprise that it works on the younger brother, too. If I go down, I'm using resonance to take you two down with me.
And then Eso is thinking, whoa, that's nasty. But no matter how many times you do it, it won't be enough to kill us. In this game of chicken, you'll go down first. And while you're in decay with so much pain and poison, you won't be able to move. And then it shows Yuji, who's actually moving, channeling cursed energy into his hands as he prepares to punch Keichizu. How can you move? Goes Eso. Resonance, as Nobara shoves another nail into her arm. And then Yuji punches Keichizu. Yuji Itadori is the vessel for Ryomen Sukuna, the king of lethal poisons and curses. He has a tolerance to all toxins. Decay's pain remains, but the poison has no effect. If there is only pain, Itadori will not stop. And it shows Yuji punching Keichizu directly in the face with great force. Keichizu! Shut up, says Nobara as she shoves another nail into her arm. Resonance! And then Keichizu feels this. What? And then it shows Nobara and Yuji switching places. They're switching. The weakened girl's gonna attack my weakened younger brother. And then Nobara glances as Eso gets upset. You think you can keep me frozen in place forever? You brat! Should I deactivate the technique? At this rate, I can't help my brother. While decay is active, I can't use Wing King. But can that girl kill my brother in her condition? Even with the girl interfering, there's no way that I will be killed by this boy before she dies. I will not deactivate the technique. And then it cuts to Keichizu as he's lying on the floor going, Big bro, we three are one. And then the technique disappears from Yuji and Nobara. And Yuji clashes with Eso as he thinks, I deactivated the technique without realizing it. Then he activates Wing King and tries to stab in the direction of Yuji, who dodges. Then Keiichizu immediately starts going for Nobara. As Nobara was slightly distracted. Then we get narration. Kujisaki's focus is so intense that she didn't notice the danger approaching from the rear. The poison remains within Kujisaki. However, the pain from the deactivated technique would help sharpen her focus. Beyond that, a millionth of a spark ignites. Before Wing King can reach Kujisaki, the enemy who stands before Yuji must be defeated. Sincerity is Yuji Itadori's greatest weapon. He possesses physical prowess and a fighting sense greater than that of Maki Zenin, and he was given the power of curses. The man chosen by the Black Sparks. Black Flash! As it shows both Nobara and Yuji using Black Flash in an instant. And then it shows Keiichizu and Eso being pretty much just slightly obliterated from this technique. Keiichizu's upper head gets destroyed somewhat with a nail, and then Yuji ends up blowing off a portion of Eso's arm as he thinks, what was that black light? I'm positive that I reinforced my arm with cursed energy when taking that blow. But before I realized it, my arm was gone. Oh, my dear younger brother. Don't die. My dear younger brother. And then it cuts to Keiichizu going, yeah, big bro, as it makes its mouth enlarge in an attempt to consume Kujisaki. And Yuji looks back, and Eso is like smiling like something's about to happen, and then Nobara goes, "Oh right, I haven't shown you this one yet." Hairpin. And she snaps her fingers, and the nail that is in the head of Keiichizu causes the head of Keiichizu to explode, exorcising and killing him. Don't worry, I'll be sending Big Brother your way soon. To be continued. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Volume 7 of Jujutsu Kaisen. We are not out of the woods yet of catching up to where the anime is, because the rest of the fight is in Volume 8, and we will continue that next Thursday. And next Thursday, oh boy, I'm excited for that, because it means that my last day at my current job will be that following Friday. And then that's when I get to run this channel full time. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. But let me not talk your ears off. This stream has gone on a little bit longer than I was originally expecting, but I'm glad I was able to get the full volume out to all of you. There were a lot of chapters in here, a lot of scenery to chew through, a lot of exposition, a lot of talking, so that probably explains why this stream was a little bit longer than the rest of them. But overall, Jujutsu is shaping up nicely, and I'm glad I get to see what goes beyond the anime with this manga as we dip into volumes 8, going all the way to volume 15, because that's where I have all the physical for Jujutsu. But like I said, let me not talk your ears off. That's all I got here, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, all I can say at the end of the day is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. Oh man, I am so glad I'm about to catch up to where the anime is and then go beyond the anime. Good lord, I love this series. It's really good.